Let me just start this video by saying, oh my gosh, what the heck just happened? Remember that huge announcement that Gerstlauer made a couple months ago about a record-breaking coaster coming to the United States? While everyone was screaming Cedar Point or Dollywood, Glenwood Caverns was just chilling in the back with this monstrosity in their pocket, and they decided to reveal Defiance to the world just a couple days ago. Yeah, talk about a big whoops. I'm going to be analyzing this coaster and giving you guys my full thoughts on it and talking about why the people at Glenwood Caverns are genius with the decision to install this ride. Also, what in the world is Cedar Point doing if this isn't the coaster we were all expecting? Stay tuned for that towards the end of the video. Now before we get into the analysis, I just want to say that I'm actually not surprised that Glenwood Caverns is getting this roller coaster. I've been predicting it all the way since Gerstlauer announced it earlier this year. What they said in the article just didn't fit Dollywood or Cedar Point. The main thing in the article that got my attention was that it said it would be very difficult for them to build this coaster, and the location was going to be like no other. And while yes, there are many obstacles at Cedar Point and Dollywood, those places are very flat. It's not extremely hard to build in those places, but building on a mountain, that's difficult terrain. And besides just building the roller coaster, it's also extremely difficult to get all of the equipment and parts up on top of that mountain as well. And when I saw that in the article, I immediately thought, this is Glenwood Caverns. So I'm not too surprised with this, but I am super excited for it. So anyway, let's get into the analysis. This roller coaster is going to be a custom-built Eurofighter by Gerstlauer, and if you've ever ridden one of these things, you know that they're awesome. Defiance will feature a 75-foot lift hill with a 110-foot drop. How is that possible? Well, Defiance is built on the side of a mountain, and it takes the term terrain coaster to heart. When you get to the top of this ride, you're going to be sitting 1,300 feet in the air and staring straight down at the Colorado River. That view alone is going to be worth the trip to ride this coaster. Defiance will also feature three inversions if you count that twisted top hat, as you travel through its extremely short layout. That's the one knock I have on this coaster. It's super short. You thought Goliath at Great America was short? Well, this coaster is only 17 seconds long from drop to brakes. 17 seconds! Now the big record-breaking feature of this coaster is that it will have the steepest freefall drop in the western United States. In my opinion, that record is trash. Now, Cannonball Lagoon does have a much steeper drop than this coaster, but it has a break at the top of the drop, so it's technically not a freefall drop. So while this record is just plain dumb, there's nothing technically false about it. But I mean, come on, they really had to reach in order to claim a record on this ride. I think most enthusiasts are going to care more about the actual ride than that cheap record. So let's get into layout for this thing. You're going to start out by taking a right-hand turn out of the station and climbing up that 75-foot lift hill. And once you reach the top, you're going to get that awesome view of the mountains surrounding you, which just looks so cool. Next, you're going to plummet down that beyond vertical drop of 110 feet as you barrel down the mountainside. Also, this coaster has lap bars, so you're going to get whipped out of your seat on this drop. After that, you're going to ride up into a twisted top hat. This looks very similar to the first inversion on Hang Time, but I don't know if this is actually an inversion. The USA Today article says that it is, but RCDB says otherwise. Looking at it from this angle, I'm just not sure if it flips you enough to be called an inversion. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, after this you're going to fly into the next inversion, which is a banana roll. These are always really cool looking inversions. I think it's going to be so cool to be looking down at a mountain while I'm upside down on this inversion. After the banana roll, you rise up into the final inversion on this coaster, a zero-G roll. This looks really wonky. It's more like a sidewinder that ends in an inline twist. I'm sure it's going to give some great hang time over the mountain. After that, you cruise into the final brake run, and the ride is over. So it's a really short ride, but its elements all come in rapid succession, and I think I can get over how short it is for how intense it's going to be. Now, this ride looks awesome, but why would a tiny park in the middle of the mountains like Glenwood Caverns build this giant roller coaster? I think the folks at Glenwood Caverns are secret geniuses, and here's why. Currently, Glenwood Caverns is over a 4-hour drive from Denver because of some road closures on I-70, but when the interstate opens back up, it will only be a 2.5-hour drive. This is easily within range to draw crowds from the 3 million people located in the Denver area. Denver also has an amusement park, Elitch Gardens, located near downtown. Now, if you know anything about this park, you know that it's pretty bad in terms of quality, and the city has been trying to get rid of this park for years. It is very possible that Elitch Gardens will be gone in the next 5 years. There are plans to move the park somewhere else in Denver, but all of that is uncertain at this point. If Elitch Gardens gets the axe, Glenwood Caverns will be the closest major thrill park to Denver. The city of Denver is also one of the fastest growing cities in the country, and has been for the last 7 years. Combine the uncertainty of Elitch Garden's future with the rapidly expanding city of Denver, and you have the perfect time to strike with a record-breaking attraction that is going to attract people not only from around the country, but also the world. And I think that's exactly what the management of Glenwood Caverns saw, and why they decided to build Defiance. Whether you know it or not, you've probably already seen countless pictures of Glenwood Caverns. Most of its rides hang off a cliff or use the terrain in some way, and because of this, pictures of these rides are shared all over social media. This coaster is going to give people a reason to finally make the trip to Glenwood Caverns, and cement this park as a destination park. As if this park isn't awesome enough, the city of Glenwood Springs is already an established tourist town, making the decision to visit this park even easier for many families. So, this is great and all, but that still leaves one giant, glaring question. This isn't the 2022 coaster that everyone was predicting was going to Cedar Point. So what is Cedar Point getting? Well, as of right now, it looks like nothing? Now, don't click off the video just yet. Let me explain. I do think Cedar Point is getting something huge for 2022. I mean, it's their 150th year celebration. To get nothing would be a huge waste of an opportunity. But let's be real. It's August, and there have been no construction updates, no news from the park, absolutely nothing. It is still totally possible that they will get a roller coaster in 2022, and a record breaker at that, and they definitely have the time to still get it done. But as of right now, we just don't have any info on what this new coaster could be. We're completely in the dark, and I think it's okay to admit that we have no idea as to what it could be. I think that's exciting because all options are on the table, and Cedar Point could surprise us with literally anything. Well, except a 500-foot coaster. That's not happening. And you know what? If Cedar Point somehow does build a 500-foot coaster for the 2022 season, I will eat a handful of bugs. Gosh, I hope this really doesn't happen.